Good.
Hey Valkyries, we're back here. I told you we had a student athlete. We actually have two student athletes today. We have Caroline and Piper here. You hear the buzzer going off. We've got a lot going on here today at Converse, but I want to talk a little bit to you guys. We just did a media day, had your headshots taken. You're getting ready to hopefully compete here pretty soon. But Piper, talk to me a little bit about what it's been like through COVID and trying to get ready and to get to where you can compete again and get a little bit of normalcy.
It's been pretty good. It was definitely a change at first when we had to wear the mask and social distance, but being able to be with the team made it better anyway, and it was just really fun to be back together.
And Caroline, talk about you're a junior this year, so coming back on campus, I mean, it had to be frustrating during the summer not knowing what was going to happen, but here you are, you're working out with your team, you're actually teams over here behind us, but talk about too what Piper just said, what it's like to be back and being able to compete.
Yeah, it's honestly just great to be back, to be with your people, to be in classes and not online, and just to be able to experience everything firsthand instead of virtually.
Well, that's a good point. And tell me, is there anything you've had to do different? Because you're getting to go to class. Are some still online? Are you in class? And then has it changed your schedule, your workout and practice schedule, so that you can't all work out as a team? You do different types of groups.
So for me personally, I have some online and then some off. But we practice pretty much early in the morning, around 6, so it doesn't really affect group workouts, but sometimes weights, it'll interfere with schedules and whatnot. So.
And Piper, talk about that, because a lot of people don't realize student athletes, they think, oh, they get to go to college and play, but you guys are up early. You're up earlier than I am to compete, and then you have to go to class. Talk about how you manage your time.
Well, I have classes pretty early too, so I go to run and then I immediately shower and eat breakfast and then go to class. But overall, if you're just proactive with what you need to do for school and then you just show up on time and do things as they come, then it's not so bad.
And talk about your coaching staff. We were joking with your coach earlier before we went on, but how has it been through the summer and communicating and staying in touch, say, hey, here's what's happening. Talk about how they've stayed in touch with you and kind of kept you motivated to come back and get ready.
Well, I know that when we first were quarantined and had to go home, Coach was really nice about making sure that we were still practicing and that we were still into what we were doing and we had a schedule. And coming back, it's just been pretty much the same. We still are in it and we're still practicing the season and we're coming up on a meet now soon, which will be really fun.
And I'm sure same with you. Did you have any Zoom chats with your team or anything like that?
Yeah, so over the summer he actually kind of held us all in a Zoom chat to tell us update us, and he's always sending messages on anything that changes with our sport, which is really great and responsible of him.
All right, so you may have something coming up soon. What do you guys expect from the season? Are you looking forward to just getting out there and competing and getting to wear the Converse across your chest and everything?
Well, we recently had a time trial, and I think everybody looked great, but we hopefully will be having a meet soon here next week, so hopefully we can show out.
And that's a great point. So if you have a meet, what are the different things? Do you have to be tested before the meet? Talk about the different protocols now that you have to deal with as a student athlete.
Yeah, so we do have to be tested 3 days before, and while we're waiting on our test back, we have to stay on online classes and self-quarantine. And everyone who's going to be on the bus has to be tested beforehand, and we all have to wear our masks the whole time, obviously, and social distance.
Well, look, we wish you guys the best of luck. We're glad to at least have you here. We can talk to you, and you're here on campus, but we'll check back in with you as the season goes on, and hopefully you'll get to compete, and good things will happen, and stay safe. And thanks for joining us today here on Valkyries Corner. Until then, as we hear the buzzer, it's time to go. Go Valkyries.